back then they have the drafts. You know, when you hit 18, you got to sign up. He had signed up, but he hadn't done all the major paperwork. And he was senior in high school. Bus pulls up, calls him down, a couple others, say, you know, we got to go to Dallas and do the paperwork. They let him out at Fort Port in Louisiana. And he didn't get to say goodbye to his mom. He didn't get to pack a bag. He didn't get to anything. He was there, and it was ready for boot camp. And that just, I knew they'd draft him, but I figured they'd wait until they were out of school, you know, because he was at the end. They'd already done their senior pictures and everything. So instead of getting an actual high school diploma, they gave him a GED.
How long was he in Vietnam before he got arrested?
A year.
And then he got to go to Australia?
Well, I think you're there like 6 months. I may be mistaken. About 6 months, and then they're allowed an R&R. You know, and he said that, you know, when they're out and they're patrolling and doing all that they're out there for so long, and then they get to go to what he called a base camp, and another group would follow in their steps, but he'd give the guys a bit of a rest, because that wasn't always possible, you know, depending on where they were and how much gunfire they were taking. They carry 60-pound bags, you know, packs with them. And he said that one time they were flying in hot shot, you know, where they're being actively shot at. And the helicopter pilot was wanting to have them jump out into the monkey grass. And, you know, and that stuff, there's no telling how high it is sometimes, you know. And he got him down to the grass and says, okay, jump. And Phred said, I don't think so. You need to take it slower, because I will not break my leg jumping out of this helicopter. With all that monkey grass, Phred said that they walked through it, it'd be over his head, you know.
That's where the Agent Orange came through to get rid of that.
Oh, and hell, he said that stuff was so disgusting that the plants and everything around would just kind of drip with the stuff.
But it was evident though when they sprayed.
Oh, yeah.
You could see the vegetation die off.
Yeah, you could see the vegetation.
When Phred, so as a tunnel rat, his goal is to go down a hole that's dark, and he doesn't know what on the other end is.
Yeah.
So what's the objective? Is to go down there to seal it off, or just to go down there and do a couple, try to kill some people and run back out?
Yeah. See, basically kind of see what they have down there, you know, report back and, you know, kill whoever they find and everything.
And you mentioned that saying about the rock and the sticks. How did that go again?
Never go into a tunnel without a rock or a stick in your mouth. And I mean, he'd said it several times, and I finally, what does that mean? He goes, well, when you're in a firefight down there in close quarters, that helps keep your ears open so your eardrums don't burst, you know. And it was, he said that, you know, saved him so many times that, you know, it was faithful, either stick or a rock, man. And I asked him, I said, well, which did you prefer? And he said, the stick, you know.
Just bite on it.
Yeah, bite on it, and it keeps your mouth totally open, and you won't lose your hearing so bad. Viet Cong had all kinds of different traps laid out for them, you know, and one of their favorites was to hide a stick that they, you know, whittle down to a point, and then they put feces and all kinds of poisons and stuff in it, and if you weren't careful, you'd step on it, you know, and if you didn't get to the medic quick, you were gonna die. I mean, it was that disgusting. And just trip wires and pits with stakes in it, you know, covered up and everything. And
what stands out about Phred's story is the fact that his closest buddy in Vietnam was an African American. This is during a time that cross-racial friendships were not common and frowned upon in society. This friendship shows that during a time of duress, the social norms do not usually apply. Soldiers that fought together had to overcome their cultural differences and background, and these relationships formed a deep bond between brothers in arms.
So, why did this guy, first combat buddy, mean so much to him? Just connected well?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the beginning of it was, but, you know, Phred was like 5'8", and this gentleman was 6'2" at least, he said, you know. Not one that'd ever go into a tunnel, wouldn't fit. But they just formed a bond, and everyone else thought they didn't like each other. Because, I mean, they'd call each other names, they'd talk shit, you know.
That's when you like
totally not politically correct nowadays. You know, it's cracker this and...
Guys
you know.
are weird. When we have that kind of bond.
You know...
When we get that bond, that's what I tell people. When I'm really making fun of you, that means I really like you.
Yes, exactly. If I ain't giving you shit, then I don't like you. You know, if I give you a hard time, you know I do. That's exactly how I am.
Hearing Joy talk about how Phred picked up his friend after he was shot and carrying him as they retreated gave me goosebumps. Just think about what type of bond makes someone disregard their own life. And this is why people that have never been in these situations cannot comprehend the bonds that are developed during wartime.
They stayed together while they were fighting because they really trusted each other, and they had each other's back, and he just, I don't know, they just had a bond.
So what happened that day when they got in that firefight?
They'd been chasing this one group of Viet Cong, and I think the Viet Cong got more reinforcements, and just where they were in the hills and the valleys, you know, they didn't seem like they had a lot of cover from the way he said.
Phred did carry his buddy out and he lost him. He knew he was gone.
Yeah.
Did he ever talk about just emotional, because they're likely going to take the body away?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's just, then the next day he has to go, or even the next hour he probably has to go back.
Yeah.
On patrol.
Yeah. They were falling back to kind of regroup in the trees. And, you know, Phred and he were standing there, and he got shot. And, you know, he passed then. But everybody was calling, Phred, come on, come on. And Phred said, I couldn't leave him there. You know, we always try to go back and get him. But I wasn't leaving him there. So, you know, the scrawny little dude picked his ass up and hauled him to the rest. And they were just amazed and asked, how did you do it? And Fred's like, what are you talking about? And they told him that all around him, in the trees and the foliage and everything, there was just bullets, you know, encirculating him. And he didn't know, you know, wasn't his time.
Somebody was watching
You
that
know,
fall.
yeah. And he said there was a few firefights that they really didn't think they'd come out. And you know, Phred said he'd just pray to God, you know, I'll do anything you want me to do, just help me survive this.
Phred carried the loss of his friend for the rest of his life, and the importance of this friendship is why Joy wants to find his family and express the emotional importance he had on Phred. Phred and his comrades were forced to fight for our country on the other side of the world. While this wasn't what most of them wanted, they were able to participate and adapt to the local cultures. Whether it be from food or local custom, these soldiers saw a foreign land and ate delicacies that the majority of Americans had never heard about.
This is really neat. Hold us over there.
As you can imagine, in the time before foodie cultures grew to a global scale, foreign food was pretty intimidating. When Joy told me about Fred's experience eating the local food, I couldn't help but laugh.
He used to get his mom, you know, to send him care packages. And all he really wanted was packets of ketchup. He wanted a box of packets of ketchup, you know, the ones you get at the fast food places, not a bottle or anything. He wanted the packets. Because some of the stuff that they gave him to eat, that was the only way he could eat it, because there would, you know, it wouldn't taste good. And he said that sometimes that they would go out and eat with the Vietnamese. You know, they'd bring them home, and you know, if you didn't eat what they served you, they, would take offense to it, So he always said he always carried lots of ketchup when he went and did that. He said all the other guys, begged him, please give us some ketchup. Get your own mom to send you some, man. These are mine.
I had my aunt. She sent me a case of Red Bull when I was in Iceland. 'Cause I couldn't buy
Really?
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the military,
Yeah.
either ketchup or salt.
Yeah.
It gives you flavor.
Yeah.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.